Let's study another clinical case. Here we have crowding, with canines rotated mesially. Our goal is to fix this using clear aligners. Interproximal reduction alone will not create enough space to place the canines in the dental arch. Therefore, we will plan distalization here. Let's look at how we make setups in cases like this. We work according to our distalization protocol standards. We start with the second molars, moving them halfway from the planned position. Then we begin to move the first molars, placing the second molars to their final position. We continue this movement with the premolars. We move two teeth in each segment simultaneously and in parallel, having good anchorage, which will be created by wearing elastics. We can work with the front teeth, perform round tripping, tilt them vestibulally, and also rotate, so that when we reach the retraction stage, the teeth were already relatively been aligned. First of all, we press the buttons out of the surface of the aligners located on the first premolars. Then, when we start working with the canines, we attach the metal buttons to their clinical crowns. How does this look in real life? This is one of the final stages. When we see the buttons already fixed on the canines, we remove them from the premolars and move the elastics to the canines. This way we kill two birds with one stone. First, we facilitate distalization of the canines, and second, we add more rotation to them. Because, as is known, canines rotate poorly on aligners. At first we wore a more vertical elastic. Then we attach a metal button to the canine and wear the elastic this way. It simultaneously aids in distalization, extrusion of the canine, and its derotation. Without the elastic, this movement would be incomplete. Same applies to the left side. Let's rewind. The canine is rotated. We perform some of the rotation using an attachment, but to ensure that the rotation is completed to a sufficient extent, we move the button from the premolar to the canine and continue wearing the elastic this way. If there were molars on both sides, I would have prescribed wearing elastics from the first molars to the canines and upper premolars. But since the tooth is missing and patient didn't want us to use mini screws, so I decided to place buttons on the lower second premolars. And let's look at the final result. The teeth are aligned, the canines are now in proper position, and we got some widening of the dental arches. At this stage, I would recommend to perform a contouring to smooth out the anatomy of the incisal edges using a diamond finishing strip. What conclusions can be drawn from this case? For successful distalization, we always need anchorage, and in this case, it was achieved using class 2 elastics. This case is also interesting because, to obtain a more complete correction of the rotation of the maxillary canines, we combined elastics that simultaneously promote distalization, extrusion, and rotation. Because just for an aligner itself, without using auxiliaries, these movements will be difficult, especially rotation and extrusion. If you are interested in individual virtual plans for printing aligners, you can contact me. Creating a setup takes 3 working days, and the virtual 3D plan will be provided via a link in this viewer, which I developed with my team. If you model the setup yourself, I recommend trying our viewer. Storage and upload of 3 setups are free. Using a subscription, you can also customize the viewer design to match your brand style, logo, colors, icons, your domain name. It has desktop and mobile version, so it works perfect with any type of device. I would appreciate to hear your feedback. Thank you for watching.